before we start, there's this app called Be Real. And I'm real. So now I get to view on my Be Real. So we're going to take a selfie. And then we're going to touch the people in the audience. And there we go. Thank you for coming to my Be Real. You can have a seat. It's supposed to be a better version of Instagram. I don't quite buy it, but... Welcome.
Well, it's very exciting to be here.
You're back here.
Back here. Nicky's good. I mean, I can't quite remember, but apparently we did an Alpha conference here back 1995. So that was probably before some of you were born.
Definitely before I was just born. I was about 1.
You're right. It's a long time ago.
We would love to get to know you this evening, and we've got some questions. Our topic is specifically around prayer tonight. But before we go there, I've got 2 really important questions. And either one of you can answer it. Papa just gave Nicky the mic. But I've got 2 really important questions. The first is, where were you when the Springboks was playing in France a few months ago in the finals of, I think it was the Rugby World Cup? What were you doing?
Cheering for the Springboks. Cheer Colosi.
And then this question is actually for Nicky before we get into some of the other questions. We've been watching the Office film series, and in the film series you talk about how you met Papa on the dance floor, and you tell us something. Did that really happen?
Yes, it's true. It is true. He told me I looked awful and needed Jesus, which was probably true.
So wait, for those of you who didn't hear it, what did he say?
He said I looked awful, terrible, and that I needed Jesus.
But then also, we'd also just love to know what makes up the Gumbels. Like, who are you? What is family life like? What is home life like? What is an average day in the life of the Gumbels? Because it's obviously not filming film series all day.
Nicky and I have been married 46 years. We have 3 children and 10 grandchildren, from age 12 down to 1, which is wonderful. Of the grandchildren, not the children. And Nicky was the senior pastor of a church called Holy Trinity Brompton, which we were part of that church for 46 years as well, at least, if not longer. And we've recently just handed that over. We've always been involved with Alpha, and now we're going full-time with Alpha, so we're travelling a lot more, and that's why we can come to South Africa, and we're loving every minute of it.
How many Alpha courses have you done?
We have done, well, we only count the ones, it's a bit like cricket, we only count the ones you've done in succession. So we've done 101 small groups. We're on our 101st small group, so we've done it every course since October 1990. We've been in a small group. We're no longer the hosts, because we're too old, but we're the helpers. So we help in a small group, and we've done that 101 times.
Wow. I'm trying to do the maths. How many is that a year? How many is that a year?
3 a year.
3 a year. Wow. So you've got a lot to tell us about prayer then. For some of us here this evening, it might be the first time we are praying. It might be the first time that we are attempting to pray. What are some of the keys that you've learned about prayer through your years of journeying with Jesus?
I can remember the first meaningful prayer I ever prayed. Someone had explained to me who Jesus was. They'd opened the Bible to me and read me that verse from John 10, verse 10, where it says, I came that you might have life, and life to all its fullness. And I remember thinking, yes, that's what I want. I want that life to all its fullness, the abundant life. I have a life, but I haven't got a relationship with Jesus. And I remember going back that night, kneeling down by my bed and praying the first meaningful prayer I'd ever prayed. And for the first time in my life, I felt as though the prayers weren't just sort of hitting the ceiling, but that I was connecting with a God in the universe. And I felt and experienced the love of God for the first time.
All relationships thrive on communication. all friendships, marriages, and it's the same with our relationship with God. It thrives on communication. And for me, it's more important that God speaks to me than I speak to him. That's why next week I think you're looking at the Bible, and reading the Bible is the main way in which we hear God speak to us, and then prayer is the main way in which we communicate with God. So it's the most important activity of our lives is the relationship with God. Jesus said human beings can't live on bread alone, and we need bread. First thing in the morning, I have breakfast. I need physical food, but even more, we need the spiritual food of a relationship with this communication with God as we hear him speak through the Bible and as we speak to him in prayer.
Sure. A lot of the guests, we invited the guests to give you guys some questions. And a lot of the questions had a similar theme of unanswered prayers. What happens when you've prayed for many years and the prayers just aren't answered? What do you do with unanswered prayers?
We know that God hears our prayers, but he doesn't always say yes to them. It's not that he doesn't care or he's not listening. We know that he does care, and in many ways we will never know this side of eternity. Some things I've prayed for over the years, and I'm very glad they didn't work out, looking back over the years. And some things I will never understand. Losing a loved one, people who were sick didn't get well, or something, or things that are ongoing, or going on praying for a child that's suffering, whatever it is. And they always say it's sort of three things. I'm sure it comes in the film. It's yes, no, wait. And sometimes God says yes, just like that, and it's absolutely wonderful. And other times he answers, but much later. And the other time, you just don't know. But we have to trust that God does know, and one day we will know.
Nothing to add. I think you'll see in the film. Are you doing the film on prayer?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll talk about an experience in my life which was where God did not answer my prayer, and I still don't know why. But anyway, I won't repeat it now.
Watch the film, everybody. Nicky says it in the film. And then lastly, we really appreciate having you with us in person. I feel like for many of us in the room, Alpha has been such an intimate part of our stories in coming to Jesus. I know I can speak for myself. My family was on the verge of losing everything, and my parents found Jesus and each other through the Alpha course, and it turned my life around. I blame them for what I'm doing now because there's a lot there, and so we want to honor you for that. We want to thank you for your obedience, for your commitment to pursuing a tool that you believed could and does transform people's lives, and so we really, really want to thank you for that. I know that there are plenty of stories in the room of those exact same stories of Jesus encountering people through the Alpha course, so thank you.
Well, it's so encouraging to hear that, and so encouraging to meet so many of you tonight and to hear your stories and to see this church full of people on this journey. And all I'd say to you is this is the most important thing that you could ever do, is to explore a relationship with God through Jesus. It's a week ago, what's the date today? 21st. So it was the 16th of February, 1974. So it's now 50 years and 5 days since I prayed a prayer. I encountered Jesus, and I am so thankful for the last 50 years. They're so different from the first 18 years of my life, where I was, I became a very argumentative atheist, and encountering Jesus is the greatest thing that you can ever experience. And so congratulations for coming, because this is, you're giving evenings of your life to exploring the most important question that you can ever ask. And Jesus is the one who he turned water into wine, and he can do the same with our lives. He can turn the things that are fairly sort of humdrum and normal and bring a richness to our lives that is so beautiful. It's not that he makes life easy. I think following Jesus is much harder, but it's much, much more exciting. And it's the greatest adventure that you can ever go on. So congratulations for coming to Alpha. You've come to the best church, the best place. You've got MJ and Guy leading this church. It's a fantastic church, and I hope many of you will end up coming here on a Sunday because you'll hear amazing worship, wonderful talks, and a great community.
Just before you go, can you introduce yourself and give us an adjective using your first name? And then also, if you were stuck on an island, what 3 things would you take with you?
Do you want to go first, Pip?
I always go for patient Pippa. It's a bit boring, but anyway, I have tried occasionally a pirouetting Pippa to make it a little bit more fun.
You have to spell that in English. I don't understand that word.
Pirouetted. It's a ballet term, in a ballet. I'm certainly not going to do it. When you twirl very fast. Do you know those ones? I can't do it. Anyway, there's that. 3 things to a desert island. And presumably no person or no phone.
If you don't want to take Nicky, you don't have to take Nicky.
I'll take Nicky.
Oh, thank you. I'll take Pips and we'll be very happy.
And a fridge full of food, and a boat to escape.
Yeah.
What would you take?
I just take Pips. I'll be perfectly happy with her.
You have to tell us your name. You have to tell us your name. Your name.
I used to be Nautical Nicky. I don't know why, but we don't do it. Yeah, we haven't played that game for a bit. Or was it Nike Nicky? No.
You definitely wear trainers.
Trainers.
Yeah, we couldn't think of a good adjective for N. So if you've got any good ideas, didn't want to be nice and or naughty. So we couldn't think of another adjective. So if you've come up with one, please let us know.
Thank you so much for your time. Oh, me?
Yes.
No one ever asks me.
Come on.
King Keenan.
Keenan, yes, I can see it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time this evening. We need to turn our attention to the screens to watch Nicky and Pimpa on the screens. But thank you. We pray that the rest of your time, when do you leave South Africa? Friday, that the rest of your time is fruitful and filled with a lot of sunshine and love and warmth. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the video.